Now we want to add an installation, or let's say several installations. Let's say we want to create a little portfolio of a few solar and wind installations. So I go to add installation, I select my power type. I'll go for utility solar for the first one. You will probably find that your template has already been selected. I'm just going to select a template that I want to use for my utility solar, which is the polycrystalline specification. We want to put in an installation year, so the year in which our installation has actually been commissioned. That's not the same as the scenario year. This might have been installed 10 years prior to the scenario that we're running. So you set that value appropriately. Let's just leave that value as it is for now. So we're applying a 2024 installation year for a 2024 scenario. And if we were just going to create an individual installation, a single installation here, you would amend these values which have been taken from the template up here, especially the capacity. But you can do this in batch for a number of installations as well. I'm just going to show you how to do that. So if I go to place my installation, ask you to confirm the name. You've got several installations. If you want to do this one at a time, you would click on marker or polygon and then go on the map and locate where you want your installation to be, or you can place it by coordinates. But in this case, I want to use what's called our weather dataset grid. In other words, I want to create a number of installations, all of which have the same specification, which is something we're often doing in our scenario modeling. So I'm going to click on weather dataset grid. Our simulation is going to be run against a particular weather data set. The application will tell you which ones are available for you. In this case, I have two. I'm just going to go for British Isles ERA 5 here. So I click on that to confirm which one I want to use. And then on the map, you'll see there is a grid. So what happens now is I choose a number of grid cells that I want to apply my specification to. So let's say I want to put a solar farm in Norwich, in somewhere around about Hampshire, somewhere down there, and let's say down in Plymouth. You'll see each time I click on a cell, it highlights the cell. So this is the cell which my simulation is going to run from. And when I've stopped clicking, I can go on for as long as I like, really. You will be limited to, I think it's 5 installations in the free version. But once you're happy with the installations that you've got, we can click on finalize, and this has now applied that specification that I chose from the template to each of those locations. I've realized I probably want to bump my capacity up a bit, so I want a bit more than 1,000 kilowatts. Let's say I want I don't know, 100,000 kilowatts. I'm just going to update that there, and maybe 50,000 kilowatts, in other words 50 meg there, and let's say 10 there. Save that, and now if I click create, that has now created 3 installations with identical specifications apart from the capacity that I just amended in each of those locations. And if I've forgotten what I did there, I can click on the installation list here and it will remind me what the capacities are. Let's also add into this scenario some wind. So I'm going to go and click on the wind installation type here. Again, I think your template will have been pre-selected to be something like the 2.3 megawatt or 3.3 specification. So I'm going to click on 3.3 this time, and I'm going to apply this. So again, all these values have now been pre-populated. Everything that's needed to provide a full specification of my wind installation, which will include the capacity. If you see these little cogs here, it tells you that there are several fields that are all combined and have to link together. So let's say if I want to update the installation capacity, I want something like a 10 megawatt wind farm. So in this case, that's updated my installation capacity to 10 megawatts. It's got a slightly odd number of turbines, so because my turbine hasn't exactly got 3.3 megawatts in its specification, so I'm just going to nudge that up to 4. That updates my installation capacity to the nearest whole multiple of the individual turbine capacities. So we've now got our capacities the way we want them. There are a number of other technical parameters in here: loss factors, degradation factors, turbine hub heights, and a wind power curve. All of those can be edited. Then there are also some financial values, which we've provided a default for, but you can amend that, or for now I'm just going to use the default value. And then some general descriptive fields here if I want to fill them in. But generally, in this case, I'm going to be happy with the defaults. So now it's just down to placing my installation. I'd give it a more meaningful name normally. And if I confirm this, just to show you the difference, I'm now going to place it by, let's say, by marker. So I'm going to click here and it will give me a marker, which I want to go and place up here in somewhere on the East Coast. Let's say near Newcastle. And that's now placed in a location on the map. And I can confirm that. And so now my scenario has 3 solar farms and a wind farm in it. And I would carry on until I was happy with all those specifications.